to whoever may be watching this, may this video serve you as a beacon of light and deepen your understanding of your true nature and of who you are, which is the most important thing that we can realize in this life. As I've come to find out now, I got a little bit feedback from friends on the first video because I wanted to make these videos as poignant and useful as possible, because I know myself, when I was trying to, for so many years, find out who I was, the first thing I did was what I was always taught to do: use my mind. Wrong. It's so difficult because we are so conditioned. Think about it. The minute you're born, what is the first, or what is the primordial word of any conditioning? It's your name. Your name is the foundation of your conceptual identity. When you were born, you did not know what your name was. Let's say your name is Bill, right? Your parents must call you Bill, Bill, Bill. They had to repeat it many times. That's what conditioning is, for that the brain to be able to process that and be able to create a conceptual paradigm and relationship with that. But the fact is, you're not a Bill, you're not a Mary, you're not a Tom. Those are just, again, utterances. These are words. We call these words. They come out of a mouth. And through concepts and conditioning, you create a conceptual reality or paradigm based upon those words. So that's why the name, a person's name, is the most important word in their vocabulary. And that's what sales people use. I was in sales for many years. You say people's name, they automatically creates a chemical reaction and they automatically like you. In fact, the quickest way to make somebody like you is to smile and say their name. But this is far beyond that, what we're talking about here. That's something that you have to come to realize. And the key is to realize it. Once you do realize that, it changes completely everything. Because then you don't identify with words, with names, with concepts anymore. Like right now, as I'm speaking with you, there's no thoughts that are happening. There's just a voice, there's just words that are speaking. And I'm listening to what is being said. The I that's listening is the I am. The space of awareness that is always here, that's uncontrived and unconditioned. It's the only thing that exists. And it's the only thing that is permanent. It's always here. When you were 5 years old, when you're 10 years old. I remember when I was 5 years old, there was a moment in my brain or my thoughts where they just stopped, and I was just this beautiful, peaceful silence. And I was mesmerized, and I was thinking, what is this? Well, that's you. That's the I am. How can you quickly get to the I am? So I have been asked to give techniques. The problem with techniques, and this is so frustrating, and I can tell you that this really aggravated me for many years, because I wanted to wake up so badly. I wanted to realize who I was so badly, because I was so miserable in many ways, that I tried everything from reading fantastic authors, as I mentioned before, Cartole. I followed so many great enlightened beings. I don't really want to mention their names because I want you to find that out for yourself. Otherwise I would really not be helping you. So from everything I've ever done in terms of techniques, I hate using techniques because they're just pointers. They're just kind of helping you, at least if the conditioning is still very dense, the technique may be able to chisel out a level of an opening that allows some light to come in, because otherwise it's a dark world within our mind structure. So for me, it has been very difficult using techniques because by nature, this body is very restless. This mind is very restless. It's been called ADHD, ADD, whatever it is. And these are all made up anyway. You'll realize that once you wake up. But there's one technique that I can recommend. That's very powerful. Many of you might know this already, but this is the technique that gave me my first big awakening. And that is simply to use the great Indian sage Ramana Maharshi. And he created something called self-inquiry. And I highly recommend you look into this. You'll find a lot of videos on self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is simply asking yourself, who am I? The best method of using the who am I is when there is some level of emotional intensity, because then you are very driven to really find out who you are. Because otherwise, if you just sit quietly and try to meditate, which is impossible for most people, it was impossible for me. I couldn't sit for 1 minute and my mind would start ta-ta-ka-ta-ka-ta, you know? So, but depending on your state of being right now, meaning, are you a restless person? Are you a person that can sit still for a long time? If you're a person that's sitting still for a long time, bless you. Well done. That's wonderful, because then you can really apply this. And it is a habit. I do meditate a lot, but it had to start as a discipline for me. And you have to want it. It's not going to just fall into your plate. Like I used to think, oh, it's just going to be easy. No, it's not, at least for me. So when you're in that moment, and I would use it in intense moments, because I was really hungry. I had a fire inside me that, if you were watching this and you have that fire inside me, you're very blessed, because that's when you really are primed to wake up. So let's say somebody said something to me. That was insulting, or I don't know, somebody walked across me and bumped into me. They say, excuse me, whatever. Something trivial. And I could feel the emotions. I could feel the conditioning. And I could hear words. Who is this guy? Who does he think he is? Why is he bumping into me? And I'm creating a story, and I'm identifying with the thoughts. And the thoughts create that identity. And then the me, which is based on my name, which is the foundation of my entire conditioning, then it gets really personal, because then they're talking about me, my name. But you're not your name. This is all BS, for lack of a better word. It really is. And that's what's so freeing, and that's what's so liberating about discovering who you are, because you see everything as just an illusion, really. I know it's hard to hear this. If you would have said that to me 5 years ago, it would have made me upset. So what are you talking about? It's an illusion. I feel pain. I feel this. It's beyond that. And I hope the whole point of this channel is to do something I wish somebody had done when I was in the waking up process and struggling psychologically and mentally and having a lot of pain and wanting to find out what's the purpose of this life. Everything seems so purposeless, for such a long time for me. So sit still. Ask yourself, who am I? Try to find the person or who you are. The best way, like I mentioned, is when you are under moments of duress, of strain, of stress, of anxiety. For example, if I would get anxious in that moment that I explained about, if somebody bumps into you and I start hearing that voice, I try to identify what the emotion is. So that's the first thing, step one. What is the emotion you're experiencing now? Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it resentment? Whatever it may be. Yes, that is a conditioned emotion. So this is the whole point. You start with the conditioning. You see what that is, because you're observing it. You're observing the condition. Let's say you're upset. I am upset. You're not upset. Those are just words, and you're creating a story around the conditioned fact that, or conditioning based on being upset. But if you try to inquire, that's where self-inquiry comes in. So you identify the emotion. Step one, I'm upset. Step two, ask, who is upset? Be still and try to find who is upset. See what happens. Now, you're probably going to go, it's me. That's what I used to do. It's me. Of course I'm upset. Look, I'm upset. Okay, who is this me? Where is this me? Look. Keep doing this. Keep doing this. It's a discipline. Just do that. It's a simple discipline, but it takes discipline to enact it in a sense, and to prolong the inquiry, because there will come a point when you ask who you are in the midst of turmoil, in the midst of stress, where you're not going to find anybody. It's incredible. The first time that happens, where you just, but there is nobody suffering, I was like looking around, what do you mean? There's nobody here. You need to see this for yourself. It is very, very clear. Once it is seen, what is seen cannot be unseen. So this video I want to dedicate to you, to help you finding out who you are and giving you a technique. Even though I don't like techniques, in the beginning you may need them. I needed them, but eventually you don't need it anymore. It becomes so natural because it's your natural state. It's already here. It's an uncontrived, it's an unconditioned state right here, right now. Nothing has been conditioned. It's just pure presence, pure awareness. And this is all that exists. Everything else is a concept. You are not a concept. Reality is not a concept. If reality were a concept, we'd all have the exact same concepts about reality, but we don't. Everybody has a different concept. So that's why there exists a certain level of arrogance when people say, you know, my concept is better than yours. There's no such thing. My concept meaning my job is better than yours. My religion is better than yours. There is no such thing. Those are made up. And I hope if you are watching this, you know this already. If you don't, there is a lot of hope. And the time is now. You can do this right now. In fact, when you stop the video, sit down and ask who you are. Try this and try this and try this. Keep doing it. That's, to me, of all the techniques, more than 10 years, I've tried all kinds of techniques. This is the best technique I've found. And I really, really hope this helps you. Bless you.